one of the other sessions. Just a second. If you go to this site,
okay,
I will meet you there.
Alrighty then.
This is the February site, but what we would do is create something similar for
Is there any pass? It has me identified as Steve Harr.
Just come in as a guest.
Oh, okay. So enter as a guest.
Yeah.
All right. Guest name cannot be empty. Please try again. Oh, and Steve Harr. That ought to work. All right.
Okay. Does it work?
It's coming up here. It's just got to load.
Okay.
It's just loading up. By the way, while we're waiting for that to load up, I sent you a link. It's not from me. It's from, quote, on Collegium, unquote. Which,
yeah, I saw it.
And
I just opened the file. I haven't looked at it yet.
So what I would like to offer, if it's useful to you, if it isn't, that's fine, is to write up a little short case study of that. It runs pretty parallel to a 4D workshop, but it was based on almost entirely on the StrengthsFinder work, which was pretty fun.
Huh. I'd like to see that anyway because I'm doing StrengthsFinder stuff with the UN.
Oh, good.
Okay, you're on. Now, what this is, I would create, based on session 1, I would create another one of these sets so that people who had not been in Sacramento could get on and see and participate in different things. And
can I just interrupt 1 second?
Sure.
So I'm just thinking in video clip terms here. So is this likely to be
this is a video clip right here.
Okay, but let me okay, I understand that. Let me answer. Oh, okay.
Once we make a video clip in Sacramento,
yeah,
of me doing, for example, of me doing the opening, or of one of the teams doing an exercise, then on these different pages, as somebody else is going through them, that video clip could be used so that if I wasn't there to walk somebody through this, they could still walk through it with the same video clip, et cetera, et cetera.
Right. Is this something that you intend to show or use in the orientation?
No, this is the February session. The site I'm showing you right now, what we're going to do is in Sacramento in January, I'm going to do an opening introduction. Then in February, March, April, and May, we're going to do every month another session with the same group.
That sounds great.
So if there are other people in the Collegium group that want to do something similar or just want to do the opening session without doing any of the other follow-ups, because the opening session will be an overview session, after Alan creates the videos in Sacramento, we can put those in with another site, which will still have to be created, but the idea would be the same.
Yeah, no,
which is there'll be 5 or 6 different layouts for the different elements of the session, and then as people go through them, they can just move to the next layout.
Well, what you're describing is very parallel to what we've been working on, the idea with electric collegium rather, not being tied to necessarily to a particular technology. Could be this one, the one we're looking at right now, but it also might be smaller and more informal, or it also might be larger and
Sure.
much more
And
complicated.
once we create the pages on this and the videotape, the pages on this could be the text from these pages or whatever, and the videotape could be exported into other forms and used in other ways.
Yeah.
So the only reason I'm showing you this is this gives you an image of what we're creating right now, which is and so the first draft of these has been created. This is the February series, and so it's got a slide for each of the different elements that people will do. This is an Aura design page for their appreciative interview. And so the idea here is this would actually be in breakout teams. That as teams the teams would then take a breakout space and create their interview. And so this is to introduce the basic. Can you see this?
Yeah, I can see it all. It's going by kind of fast, but I'm watching, and I'm getting
anyway. Once these are created, we could also set a time where I could walk you through it. They're only drafted right now, but where I could walk you through it, and it would not be difficult to take these and then make them to another software if that would be more helpful.
Yeah.
So you can make them a Google Doc or whatever. This is currently a PowerPoint with question boxes on the side. So there are lots of other ways to do that.
Yeah. The thing that I've decided is to do my best to focus on the quality of the conversation first, and somewhere on part 3 or 4 get around to the technology. So, I'm not.
Well, the reason I'm creating it on this is something that the top network has access to and uses, and that it's flexible enough that we can create different things either for teams or for the whole group. But once we've created the content, the form of it could be transposed into different forms, whatever makes the most sense.
Yeah. Let me tell you one thing that I did that we haven't talked about. And I have a set of slides in a video format that I'll send you if you're interested in. Last year, before any of this electric collegium stuff came up, I did 2 quarter-long webinars with Dosho Port, who's a Zen priest in Minneapolis. And we used a webinar, and there were variously anywhere from about 6 to a dozen people attending. And in the Soto Zen tradition, they have this idea of Ango, A-N-G, what they call Ango, which would be something like a study group. Basically, when it's the rainy season, they just invite all the monks to, okay, let's clean the place and fix things and let's study is really what's going on. And so we did that online for 2 consecutive 13-week periods with a somewhat shifting group. So reason I'm mentioning it is we made two very fundamental discoveries about working with people. One of them was it was real easy to catch people passive and parallel processing on the computer screen. And so the way that we found to avoid that is, in order to be in the session, you had to make a front-end agreement to participate and also to have a practice partner. So the 2 practice partners would come to the session aligned and ready to go to work on the stuff that happened in the session. and then they would get together offline in Skype pairs, usually in Skype pairs. And there were people in Moscow and Helsinki, in Copenhagen, London, Calgary, Alberta, Costa Rica, that was me, and some people in the United States. And so it was there was a lot of hard learning there about how to get that group to hold together and how to create a positive relationship between Dosho, who is, doing his darndest to, be a good teacher. It was also interesting to work on the issue of how to be a good student, and that in the Buddhist zone, that creating that student-teacher relationship, like sort of an apprentice-master relationship, or anyway, we're going to co-learn together here. I'd like to share that slide set with you if you're interested, and a couple of the insights that we created, because I think some of it might help you, really achieve. I know you've been working on this for a long time, and I really, everything you've said so far this morning and other times is, I think it's just the right stuff, and I hope you provoke a revolution in practice among the TOPS group. It probably isn't going to happen in the first 20 minutes, but...
Well, you never know. Anyway, you can close that website. I just wanted to show you what we're working on. And as I said, once we create the 5 sessions, we can transpose them fairly easily into virtually anything.
Yeah.
In the sense of other softwares or whatever, because once the process has been designed, then it can be moved around or whatever in whatever way that whatever technology makes sense.
Yeah, no, that sounds really great. Can I ask you a question specifically about your orientation session for the purposes of the video business?
Sure.
Are you likely to have a slide set that you're going to show?
The slides that I just sent you in the manual will be most of the slides that I use.
Okay. Let me ask you this.
I may break down a few of them, or I may change the formats or whatever, but basically the intention is that all the content that I put up on the screen is in that book that they have.
Right. That sounds good.
But I will not be speaking. That is, my context pieces there'll be 2 different context pieces. One will be an overview context piece, and then the appreciative inquiry context piece. So those will be the 2 pieces. If we want to videotape me speaking, those will be the 2 pieces which we can then tie to specific slides if we want, because I'll be talking around the slides as I'm showing them. So that will be an option if we decide to do it that way.
Let me ask you, any notion about the length, so the overview context? Are you thinking is that like 5 minutes or 30 minutes, or what are you thinking?
No, more like 5, probably 5 for the intro and maybe 10 for the appreciative inquiry.
Okay.
With an exercise in between.
With an exercise in between. Do you know the name of the exercise?
It's the first exercise on the slides. It's the very first thing they'll do is I'll have them do some kind of self-intro, which will be fairly quick. But then once we've gotten into the session, I'll do a quick overview, and then we'll go into the first exercise, which is about the gift of where I am now. Just to give them a chance to get into the appreciative context. And then we do the appreciative context, which is around what appreciative inquiry is about, et cetera. And then we go into the other 3 Ds. So, because we...
Hello? Hello?